we're going to begin with a very impassioned primetime speech from President Biden. He was speaking outside Philadelphia's Independence Hall. He called on Americans to fight for what he called the soul of the nation. And he directly accused former President Trump and his supporters of attacking American democracy. A new CBS News poll finds this, that 72% of Americans now believe that democracy is, in fact, under threat, a figure that has remained high since Trump supporters stormed the Capitol last year. Ed O'Keefe was with the president in Philadelphia last night and joins us this morning. Ed, good morning to you. The president came out swinging last night.
He did, Gayle. Good morning. The president spoke to a crowd of mostly other Democratic leaders and activists and mentioned Trump or MAGA a total of 16 times. But White House aides are dismissing criticism that this was too political a speech, arguing there's nothing political about sticking up for American democracy.
Too much of what's happening in our country today is not normal. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Speaking on the grounds of a national park and flanked by U.S. Marines, the president took direct aim at his predecessor and members of the Republican Party.
MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people. They refuse to accept the results of a free election.
A CBS News poll finds more than half of registered Republicans consider themselves part of the MAGA movement.
You can't love your country only when you win.
Visiting President Biden's hometown of Scranton, Pennsylvania, before the president spoke, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy argued Americans are not better off.
Fact, real income. What you take home after inflation and taxes is lower now than when Joe Biden took office.
While McCarthy focused on pocketbook issues, concerns about threats to American democracy are now a top issue for voters. Among those concerns, the influence of money in politics, plus concerns about political violence and overturning elections. Earlier Thursday, former President Donald Trump called into a conservative radio show and vowed to pardon those who participated in the deadly attack on the Capitol on January 6, 2021.
Yeah, I will look very, very favorably about full pardons if I decide to run and if I win.
That's exactly the kind of thinking the president said must be rejected.
They fan the flames of political violence that are a threat to our personal rights, to the pursuit of justice, to the rule of law, to the very soul of this country.
All this comes after a federal judge just handed down the longest sentence yet against a January 6th rioter. Former NYPD officer and Marine Corps veteran Thomas Webster was sentenced yesterday to 10 years in prison after he assaulted police and used a metal flagpole as a weapon. Meantime, out on the campaign trail, the Keystone State of Pennsylvania remains in focus. Former President Trump is headed there tomorrow night to hold a rally with GOP candidates for statewide office. And the president's back in Pennsylvania on Monday, going to Pittsburgh on Labor Day, but he'll also be stopping in Wisconsin. Tony?
Feels almost like 2024 already, Ed. Thank you very much.